Let us get into the details related to subpartitioning. We can have subpartitions created with different permutations and combinations. Subpartitioning is also known as nested partitioning or multi-level partitioning. Here are some of the common strategies which we use with subpartitioning. They are nothing but list, range. There are many others. Try different subpartitioning strategies based upon your requirements. Let's load the SQL magic and also let's create the database underscore URL environment variable. Now let us understand how we can create table using list subpartitioning. We would like to have main partition per year and then subpartitions per quarter. So first we have to create table users underscore quarterly, which is nothing but the main table with partition by list with created year. Then we have to create tables for yearly partitions, again with partition by list with created month. Then we have to create tables for quarterly partitions with list of values using for values in. Let's go to the example so that you understand the syntax to create the relevant tables to implement list partitioning strategy. I am dropping the table users underscore quarterly if it exists. Then if you look at the syntax of users underscore quarterly, it contains created date, created year and created month. So year and month are of type integers. As part of the primary key, we have these two fields because we want to first partition the table by year, then by month. If the table have primary key, the partition keys has to be part of the primary key. That's why we have these two. This will take care of creating the main table users underscore quarterly, where the table is supposed to be partitioned by year. That's why we specified partition by list with the created year. Now let's create the table users underscore quarterly underscore 2016, which is supposed to be a partition for our main table users underscore quarterly for year 2016. Up to here it is same as our regular list partitioning table. However, as this is supposed to be partitioned further quarterly, we have to specify partition by list and we have to specify the column on which we want to partition the data further. So this is the main difference between regular partition table and subpartition table. This will take care of creating the first partition table for users quarterly for 2016. Now as we want to partition it further quarterly, this is how I am trying to create two partitions or subpartitions, one for Q1 and another for Q2. These tables are on top of the users quarterly 2016, which is meant for 2016 year partition for users quarterly. And you can see that I am saying partition of and defining this table here. So both these create table commands have the table that is created for partitioning for year 2016. And then as part of for values in, because we are talking about Q1, I have 1, 2, 3, January, February and March values here. And then for Q2, I have April, May and June. We can run these commands and it should take care of creating the tables to support our subpartitions on top of users quarterly 2016 main partition table on top of users quarterly table. Okay, this is how you can take care of multi-level partitioning or subpartitioning using list strategy. If you want to use list range partitioning, this is how we typically take care. We can actually create table with partition by list with created year. Then we can actually create tables for yearly partitions with partition by range with created month. Then we can actually create tables for quarterly partitions with the range of values using for values from lower bound to upper bound. Let's drop this table. Let's recreate it again. At this level, the previous create table command on users quarterly and this one is exactly the same. There is no difference at all because our main partitioning strategy is list. However, when it comes to creating the table for 2016, earlier we have used partition by list because we are exploring list partition strategy. In this case, we are trying to use list range partitioning strategy, and hence here we have to specify partition by range and we have to specify the column on which we want to apply that range partitioning strategy. This is how the tables for yearly partitions look like on top of our users quarterly table. Now once this table is created, if you want to create subpartitions for this table using range partitioning strategy, this is how it will look like. You just have to say create table name, one for Q1 and another for Q2 as partition of users quarterly 2016. Both of these are related to 2016 and hence we said partition of users quarterly 2016 here. Then when it comes to for values clause, we have to specify from because we want to apply range partitioning strategy. And this is how it will look like. So for 2016 Q1, we are saying for values from 1 to 3 on top of users quarterly 2016. For 2016 Q2, we are saying users quarterly 2016 for values from 4 to 6. This will take care of creating the subpartition for Q2 in year 2016. We can run these commands and they will take care of creating subpartitions using list range subpartition strategy. This is how you can actually create tables using different subpartitioning strategies. Depending upon your requirements, you just have to explore and evaluate whether you can implement whatever strategy you have in mind. If at all it is implementable, then you have to figure out the syntax to create the main partitions as well as subpartitions. When it comes to inserting the data, we'll use the main table itself. As we'll be using the main table, we will just support with all the values that are supposed to be inserted into the main table, and it will take care of inserting the data into the appropriate partitions. We typically don't use first level partitions or second level partitions directly to insert the data into. We always use the main table as a best practice. Sometimes we might have to manage the tables that are created for the partitions. At that time, we have to detach, and as we typically manipulate the data on regular tables, we can manipulate the data on the tables that are meant for the partitions.